Uh, so let's see, who else? Mr. 3. Mr. Three's Devil Fruit has shown how it can be helpful both combat-wise and utility-wise. It seems kind of like an assisting Devil Fruit, but we've actually seen a lot about it. I mean, he got eaten by the crocodile and encased himself in his, clay, or not clay, candle wax, rather. For those of you that don't know. I think he has the candle fruit.
Yeah.
Maybe the wax.
No, I think it's wax.
Well, I don't know. He lights his hair. Does he light his hair on fire with his fruit ability?
No, I think he's just retarded.
Okay. So the wax fruit. And, I mean, I actually always forgot that. I mean, did he, light it with a lighter?
Or? I think it's just, permanent. I think it's just a character design that Oda did for fun.
Okay, well then, yeah, I mean, he encased himself in his wax to avoid being digested. He made keys on multiple occasions, which appear to even work on Sea Stone.
Yeah. He fought, or he helped Luffy fight Magellan. Luffy couldn't have done it without the wax fruit.
Exactly, that was another point I wanted to make. He offensively and defensively, combat-wise, he can use it to bypass the poison, protect from the poison, at least to a certain degree.
I mean, he is, according to his name, a great Mr. 3. Like, if I had a ship, I would want him as my third mate. Like, I want a really strong fighter, and I want him to do everything, help out a lot.
Yeah, it's really complemented by his, intellectual style of a character.
Yeah, he's definitely a strong all-around fighter. Defense, offense, utility, great. He's a great asset to have. Can he beat, an earthquake? Can he beat a reflect, from Kuma? I don't think so. I don't know why I had a little accent there. But I don't think he can. But it's definitely useful.
I definitely agree. And that might not be a total character thing. That also could be the fruit itself. I mean, wax isn't exactly a durable substance by any means. But this is going to be a slight digression, but while it came up, as you mentioned, Mr. 3 makes a good, number 3. I kind of feel like that's his part in Buggy's crew and the crew dynamic. The way I feel about it, even though he has Moji and Kabaji as his, first, second mate or whatever, or at least that's, the kind of dynamic it's been, it seems to me like it's Buggy, then Alvida as the first mate, and then, Mr. 3 kind of as his third, guy. And Kabaji and Moji just seem sort of there.
I think they're going to fall to the background. I mean, we haven't seen them fight in such a long time. They never were very good, to be honest. I mean, they were good at the start of the series, at least for where Luffy's crew was, but they couldn't. I don't think they could hold a candle to them now. Do a little pun there, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen anything from them. We know they got captured in the mini story that Oda did, the cover story.
Yes.
And they were eventually freed or whatever, but I think what you said is true. They're probably 4th and 5th or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I was just going to say this, even though it's random. I totally think that Buggy is going to get an invite to be a warlord.
Oh, I am 100% on that ship. I mean, we haven't seen anything on that, but I totally agree. I think that was in the World Letter. They know he's kind of weak, and everyone knows his face now, so they're just going to use him as a name. But
exactly. They need the intimidation factor.
But they can control him because he's weak as hell.
Exactly. They just need the name, the face, the intimidation. Plus, his crew isn't necessarily weak. I mean, even Whitebeard didn't want, to deal with his prisoners in the war.
I don't know why. He could have just quaked him once and they all would have been dead.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what they can do at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Carrying on.
Yeah.
More Paramecias include, we got Kid. Kid's got the magnetism, kind of fruit going on.
We got Hancock. That's a utility fruit.
Oh, yeah. That's offensive, utility. It's all around. I mean, we don't know everything about her fruit at this point. It's still a little vague. She can turn things to stone. At first, it seemed like it had to be a emotional thing. Like, if you feel some sort of lust for her or something like that, she can turn you to stone with some sort of weird Medusa effect.
Mm-hmm.
But now, as we've seen in battle, I don't think it works exactly.
It's a weird one because it's perfectly in combination with her hockey, so it's hard to differentiate what's hockey for her and what's her devil fruit. We know she can shoot Marrow, love beams, and if people like her, they'll turn to stone. We know that. But like you said, we've seen her when she kicks Smoker's jute. Is that how you pronounce it? His sword thing without a blade, his jute. She broke that by turning it to stone. I'm pretty sure the jute didn't like her.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's her hockey, so it's got to be something with her devil fruit that allowed her to turn it to stone. So it's kind of is just a Medusa
Yeah, there's zero relation between stone and hockey, but yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly. It's so hard to make the call. We don't know the specifics of the fruit. Obviously, she can turn things to stone. That's very useful.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely has shown the fact that she can fight like hand to hand combat, physical too. But I don't know where I would place her as far as like if we were going to rank this, strength wise. I don't think she's that physically strong.
You know, it's funny because I've actually heard a lot of people say that, like on forums and things like that. They rank. I actually disagree. I rank Hancock very high, strength wise. I mean, I might not put her above, some people, maybe like notably Doflamingo, Kuma, Magellan. Maybe I might put those three above her or something like that. Not completely sure because we don't know enough at this point about all these characters. But I mean, I think the fact that she has King's Hockey and a very broken fruit, and she just kicked like Smoker and didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I think that actually goes a long way to say how strong she is.
I feel like though she'd rather not fight, and the only reason she fought Smoker is because of Luffy. I mean, it seems to me she's definitely more of a she'd rather freeze him to stone, and if someone pulled a sword at her, it might be more difficult for her to stop that. That was my only thing, and while it definitely works, like it should work on all men. She says we've seen it to be that Smoker seemed to resist pretty fine. The one vice admiral, I forgot what his name was, but he's
Momonga covered it up with pain.
Yeah, he covered it up with pain.
That she tried to do it on Smoker. We also don't know how that interacts with Logia intangibility.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like I said, it's a bunch of different things. I can definitely respect that opinion on Hancock being strong, and I definitely see where you're coming from because we know she has King's Hockey. It's been stated and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just physically see her not being as strong. I mean, but granted, she could beat Magellan because we saw Magellan go all lovey-dovey for her when she came by, so she could have easily turned him to stone.
That's true. She probably could have beat Magellan on the basis of the emotional thing. I kind of am interested in pure strength. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, sorry, go ahead and say something.
No, I was just saying, in that respect, it's broken. How the fact that if you even like her, she can turn you to stone. So no matter what your fruits are, it's pretty much negated because most guys get a small erection when they see her.
Or a huge one.
Or a big one.
Back to what you said, I really, sorry if I'm paraphrasing. You said something along the lines of she's not that, she doesn't fight that much. She prefers not to fight that much. She just did it because of Luffy.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said.
I definitely agree. Her motivations were clear on attacking Smoker. As for her being more passive and not, a fight, particularly outgoing with fighting, I would actually disagree. I mean, we don't know that much to suggest otherwise. But there's the fact that she attacked random Marines for kind of no reason. That kind of goes to say that she's kind of wily or whatever. And then there's the fact that when we first, were introduced to the Kuja pirates, all men ships just ran away immediately when they saw them. So I kind of think she does. I think she is offensive to a lot of people for no real reason, just because they're men.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I would say okay. Well, I think that's pretty much been covered on Hancock. I think. One last one, maybe? Shiki? Want to talk about him?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Shiki's got the ability, sort of like pseudo-telekinesis. He can move himself and objects, not other people. I think he said himself he has to touch the object first.
Yeah, levitate, right?
Yeah, to make it levitate and, control it, in 3 dimensions.
But he has... I was a little confused. Now, this is definitely not totally, obviously not the manga. I watched the movie, number 10, Strong World, and... he could touch things, and he said that he could let them levitate for, he didn't have to, concentrate. They were just levitating after he touched them. Right? Am I right on that?
I have to go back and review the discussion towards the beginning of the movie.
But then, because then he got beat at the end, and, everything fell. And I was like, wait a second, didn't he say, he didn't have to,
Oh, yeah, I assume that he doesn't, it's not a conscious effort for him to, he doesn't have to think, I gotta keep my islands in the air right now.
Yeah.
It's a conscious effort. I think it's kind of an off and on switch. He's just oh, well, this is going to levitate right now.
Okay, so as soon as he got knocked unconscious, everything got switched to off.
I guess so. I mean, it's kind of... I don't feel like I have enough knowledge on the subject to comment on it.
And that's a side discussion. That's not even in the manga, so...
Although it might still be canon, because Oda, took a heavy part in Strong World.
That's true. Anyways, whatever. His fruit levitating... obviously he's very powerful with it. He fought Garp and Sengoku, and we know Sengoku's got a power, obviously, and I'm sure he used it when he fought Shiki. We don't know anything about Vice Admiral Garp, power-wise. I mean, we know he's really powerful, but I mean, devil fruit-wise.
And we know he's really strong, that's about it.
But he fought them evenly and escaped. and then escape from Impel Down. So we know Shiki's a beast. Uh,
True.
so for the levitate ability itself, I'd rather have something else, but it's definitely cool.
Definitely useful. I mean, it's obviously when I think about it, if I hadn't like actually seen Strongworld or anything, I would think it is an ability that would require a very conscious effort, and it would be like it would have its limitations. But if you watch Strongworld, I mean, he made a snow lion. You would have to meticulously think about all the snow particles to compose that, and then control every piece as it moves. Obviously, it's a manga with magical fruits, so just make that be realistic.
Yeah, but no, I agree, because like when I think of levitate, I think of like touching a chair and having it float off the ground and you not doing anything. But he made actual lions like attack, and that would be like transforming the chair into a boat and then having it levitate. Like that would you have to break all the pieces apart. Like that's serious shit. So I agree. That's kind of just a random throw out thing there.
And that is. Oh, I guess there's Buggy.
Buggy's actually got a very good fruit in the fact that it's almost. I mean, it's definitely a good attack fruit, but we've almost been always seen it used on defense.
Yeah, it's good in the sense that he can hide his hands and stab Zoro. We can see he can take a Mihawk sword slash until Mihawk reads his breath or whatever. If he even knows how to do that, it's implied though. Well, sort of.
But now Buggy has to. If he gets hit with like a hockey slash, he will physically be cut in half. He has to like break himself apart before the attack happens, right?
Well, it's hard to say. We don't really know if armor hockey, however you want to say it. I forgot what it's actually called. Color of not observation, but color of the other one.
Color of armor or whatever.
I mean, we've seen that it can be imbued in objects, like with the arrows from Amazon Lily, but we don't know if it itself. I don't think someone can just say hockey slash.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with a sword slash, maybe. We don't really know. I think to steer away from that, that's why Oda kind of made the Breath of all things. Although I guess we don't really know if that has a relation to hockey at all. I kind of hope not. I don't want everything in the universe to be a subsection of hockey. But I guess that's a different discussion. And yeah, we pretty much covered Paramecia Dofurts, I think, pretty well.
Let's see. Now I'm going to cause a little controversy, and I'm going to pick my strongest favorites as the user. I'm not going to say the actual Devil Fruit, though maybe I could do both. I'm going to say strongest user. Whitebeard is the strongest user. He was claimed to be. He fought like the strongest user. His fruit's pretty damn broken as it is. And then because I have a giant Kuma crush, I'm going to say Kuma second.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm going to exclude, I guess I'll just do the same, sort of. I'm going to exclude Whitebeard just in the sense that he's deceased and I don't really have much, I mean, it's been mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and say, if I had to pick two, Paramecia users with very strong potential and everything else, I'm going to say Doflamingo and Hancock. This is the characters, not necessarily just their Devil Fruits.
Okay. Yeah, because, say an ugly bitch had Hancock's fruit. It would not be useful.
Exactly. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Doflamingo and Hancock are two members that you did not mention that are pretty tough cookies.
Okay. And obviously I would throw in as a wild card Magellan. I would say he would be one of my next favorites.
Very, very notable.
But guys, I think that's it for us. Make sure to talk about what we talked about, talk about your own things. If you want to list your 2 or 3 favorite strongest users and or Devil Fruits and or a combination of both, do that. What else?
Favorites, strongest, whether it be by fruit or character. Anything else you want to say? Anything that you want to say, fuck you guys, I disagree with you about this.
Or most...
God, so much you guys got this right on the nail on the head.
Yeah, maybe most useless character, most useless Devil Fruit. We didn't really talk about most useless, but I'm sure there's a bunch of Devil Fruits out there that you would not want to have. I'd rather swim than be able to grow my nails, like that one really bad anime filler. But...
All right, well, yeah, this has been Devil Fruit discussion, Paramecia, and...
Expect some time, guys. The other 2 Devil Fruit discussions, we're not exactly sure when we'll get to them. Obviously it takes a long time, but make sure to talk about this, leave us comments, all that good stuff. And I think we're done here.
We are, so peace out.
Take it easy.